No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN Pregame Show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Yes, it is. And we are live on the Lithia Ford. Thank you, Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. You got some fans behind us making some noise. Autzen Stadium here in Eugene, Oregon. The Oregon Ducks are 40-3 in this building, dating back to the start of the 2017 season. And the Boise State Broncos are going to do their best tonight to try to add that fourth loss onto that impressive resume. But they're going to have to do it against Dylan Gabriel, a Heisman Trophy candidate, and the Oregon Ducks. And we have made it, Bronco Nation News, here to Eugene, Oregon, as I said, and so did the Broncos. Boise State arriving yesterday on their plane, and Spencer Danielson and company getting off the bus just a short time ago. There's Coach Danielson and company. Broncos 1-0 after the 56-45 win against Georgia Southern last week. They're going to make their way into Autzen Stadium as they try to pull off a game monumental upset here in Eugene. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. My name is BJ Rains. We got Jaden Finch here as well. We're in the Western Collective Studios, the mobile studios, today here on the field in Autzen, getting you set for Boise State and Oregon. We bring you in live here on the field. How we doing? BJ Rains with you, as I said. It's not too hot, folks. I'm not going to lie. Also not going to lie. The internet here is spotty at best, so we're going to do the best we can on the pregame show. Hope you can hear us okay. Hope you can see us okay. And we'll do our best. We've got a great show set for you. We're going to check in with Brad Fidel. We're going to hear from Mike Sanford. We got exclusive interviews with James Montgomery, the running backs coach, as well as Alexander Tubner, a safety who is from the area here in Oregon. And also got a really awesome treat coming up in just moments. Ken Woody, former player, coach here at Oregon, does some analysis. You're not going to find anyone better that knows the Oregon Ducks. He's going to join us in just a minute and help us get the Oregon Ducks perspective of this game. The Broncos are here. They've been trickling out back and forth onto the field here behind us. And They're testing the helmet communication. I just saw a couple of moments ago. So we want your score predictions. We want your comments. And again, if you're looking for a spot in Boise to watch the game, get on down to Western proper, House of Western down there on Idaho Street. Inside, you turn to the right, the National Bar. They're going to be having the BNN Horseshoe Collective watch party, and we'll be checking in with Tyler Shoemaker a little later in the show. He's the away game captain live from the watch party. So if you're looking for a spot to watch the game, head on down to House of Western, meet Tyler Shoemaker, some other former Broncos, and we'll be giving away a $50 gift certificate to help pay for your tab if you show that you are a YouTube subscriber of Bronco Nation News. So our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, roepaint.com. Andy Rowe is here. I saw him yesterday. We may even try to get him on the show. If they come down here to the front row, Jaden, we can turn the camera around or something. I know Alex Guerrero is going to be here. We're going to have some fun. We're less than 2 hours from kickoff, and we are super excited here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Again, get your comments, your questions, your score predictions, your thoughts, all that good stuff. Get it in. We want to hear. We want to know where you're watching from as well. Give us the shout outs. Let us know, where you're watching from, who you're watching with, what the tailgate plans are, what's on the grill. Let us know what you got. So again, doing the best we can with the Wi-Fi down here on the field. I apologize in advance. I think it's going out as I say that. So it's going to be in and out. It's just the way it is. So we'll deal with it the best we can here moving forward. So, all right, let's take a 25-second timeout, and then let's hear from Ken Woody here in just a second.
Bronco Nation News is presented by rowpaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.
All right, back live here. Come over this way a little bit, Ken. We got Ken Woody. I read your article in the Register Guard this morning and thought we got to get you on to talk about this game. A former player at Oregon, a former coach at Oregon. We want to know all about these Oregon Ducks getting set for this game. So thanks for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Good to be here, BJ.
I want to know the story about why they were all booing you. You said you got booed in the stadium.
Well, I missed 2 extra points in a field goal, and I was booed by 34,000 people, including my mother, back in 1969.
All right, well, I'm sorry I brought it up then, but did you guys win the game at least?
Yes, we did.
Okay, then it's not all bad.
That's right.
You were in the stands last week, the game, or here in the press box in the building for the Idaho game last week. A lot of people looking at that score. From your perspective, what went right? What went wrong for Oregon in that Idaho game?
Well, with 5.5 minutes left in the game, it was 17-14, and there were a lot of people heading to the bathroom up here in Autzen Stadium. But, Idaho has a very good defense. They did some things the Ducks had a hard time dealing with. Idaho's offense kind of struggled, as Oregon's did. And in the end, I think Oregon prevailed. But Idaho really impressed me, especially defensively.
Okay, so Dylan Gabriel, Heisman Trophy candidate. I mean, he had a lot of completions, a lot of yards, just not a lot of points and touchdowns. What'd you see from Dylan Gabriel?
He was 41 of 49, and his longest pass completion was 23 yards. So as the Heisman votes, he's not in the lead right now with that. And I think right now he's just be happy to get the offense going. Pass protection was not very good. Be interesting to see. I know Idaho has a great edge rusher and a good linebacker. Well,
Boise State, yeah.
Yeah. What did I say?
Idaho. That was last week. That's all right. That's fighting words with Boise State fans.
Hey, sorry, I apologize. Although I do have a graduate degree from Idaho. But anyway, I've always been a Boise State fan, except when they play the Ducks. There's a lot of frustration with the Ducks playing last week. They certainly are capable of being better. We'll see how they do today. But there are a lot of fans, and myself included, who remember every one of Boise's 3 wins against the Ducks.
I was going to ask you about that. I know Dan Lanning mentioned that in his press conference Thursday, that, the players are aware of that. I mean, is that a talking point up here?
Absolutely. And, it just Boise had just a way of sticking in your craw, and there was some kind of things that were controversial. But in the end, Boise was a better football team 3 times out of 3 times against the Ducks. That's why they are undefeated in the series.
Okay, so you mentioned Dylan Gabriel. What else offensively is Boise State going to see tonight from Oregon?
Well, I think they're going to try to see their running backs, Whittington and James, try to get out of ankle tackles. I thought that the Duck runners went down way too easy last week. They need to be more physical. The one guy on the Oregon offense who really takes care of his legs when he has the ball is Tez Johnson, who is a wide receiver. When he gets the ball and it starts moving around, he's really awesome. He reminds us a lot, even maybe better than Bucky Irving from last year's team. So they gotta break some tackles.
Ken Woody, our guest, again, former Oregon player, coach. You do some analysis work, and you have some stuff in the Register Guard. Folks can go check that out. But what about defensively? What's the strengths and weaknesses of Oregon on defense?
Well, it's interesting. They had one of the top 10 defenses in the country last week, giving up 17 points or less on 7 games. As a matter of fact, they held their 7 opponents to 1 touchdown or less. So they did well there, but they needed to get a better pass rush. They have some real good athletes up front, but one game you don't see a lot of stuff. But I would say defensively is their strength right now. They have 8 transfers starting for them, and you just got to kind of wonder, because Oregon has reputation for recruiting very well the past couple years with Lanning, and you'd expect maybe some juniors and sophomores who he had recruited to be up there, vying for playing time, but that's not really the way it is right now.
We got to get Autzen Stadium to upgrade the Wi-Fi a little bit here. We're kind of got a little bit of a spotty signal, so I hope folks can hear us okay and see us okay. I think Jaden's giving me the okay signal. We're hanging in there, so to speak. So you mentioned that they beat Idaho, but it wasn't super impressive. It was a close game, till the fourth quarter. Like, what is kind of the pulse of the fan base here? And do you think that kind of woke the players up? I mean, is Boise State going to get a ticked off Oregon team wanting to kind of show who they are tonight, or what do you think?
Well, I'm rare of the Oregon fans because I really don't care where they are in recruiting. I care how they coach them. They didn't coach them very well. The coaches are aware of that. And, maybe being number in the country got to them in a way because they're in a, foreign territory. But if they're going to be as good as they think they are and they want to be, they're going to have to get used to that. So there are a lot of other fans that are with Oregon, win or lose, but I think there are a lot of them that left the game going, wow, we got this wrong.
So you had your to-do list for Coach Dan Lanning for the game in here. I mean, what are a couple keys you think for Oregon, for Boise State? Just what are you looking for tonight in this game?
As a coach, I'd be saying I got to have my offensive line using good footwork. They were just sloppy in the footwork, and Idaho was good enough on defense to take advantage of that. Offensively, they got to throw the ball. They got some guys that can run. Evan Stewart, the transfer from A&M, is fantastic. They had one pass to him down in this end zone. It was just about 8 inches too long, and they never really threw deep after that. And so everyone's wondering, where's the deep ball? So the pass protection's got to get better, and they got to get down the field.
And if you're Boise State and you want to have a chance to come in here and pull up this massive upset, what do you think Boise State has to do?
I think you got to get after the Duck offense in a way that they're going to maybe get sloppy, and maybe that you come at them with some exotic looks. And right now you got to look at the film and say, hey, we can get to the quarterback.
So, 3 sacks, and they only had 5 all of last year, right?
I know. And they had 1 fumble. They only had 2 fumbles last year. So, get after them, I think, is what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. I'm not going to ask you for an official prediction, but this place is special. I've never been here before. This is going to be a fun night, fun game, and we appreciate you coming down and joining us on the show, Ken.
Thank you very much. It will get loud.
Luckily, we'll be in the box. Maybe it won't be quite as loud up here. Ken, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Ken Woody, a legendary player, coach here for Oregon, kind enough to come down and join us here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Again, folks, I'm going to turn his mic off real quick. We are dealing with very spotty Wi-Fi, so I just say I'm staying in front. I'm apologizing. If it goes bad, it goes bad. We could be done at any time. It is what it is, folks. So hopefully it's good enough right now. I know it's not perfect, but I'm apologizing in advance for the Wi-Fi and the streaming. I just hope you can see us and hear us good enough to make it worth it here. So we are going to continue. We're going to hear from Mike Sanford. Let's get Mike Sanford's prediction. Mike Sanford, our man. I got to see where I saved it. Mike Sanford. Oh, I got to find it here. You know what? Let's hear about Boise State's thoughts on playing Oregon. The Broncos. It's a big game. We're waiting for the players to come out for warmups. We're going to show you that live. Here's Spencer Danielson and company talking this week about the matchup with Oregon.
This game is one of those games, guys. I mean, our guys have been hearing about playing Oregon since last season ended, right? So immediately after the bowl game, it was Oregon 2024. And that's college football. That's why you come to Boise State, to have an opportunity to play these games, to play a top 5 opponent on the road. And so my message to our team is all about how we grow from week 1 to week 2. We know the opponent that we're playing. They're going to be one of the most talented teams we faced here in a while. They're going to be extremely well coached. I think the world of Dan Lanning, his staff from Will Stein, Tosh Lupo, I mean, they do a phenomenal job. Our team's going to know and understand that. Now, how do we grow from week 1 to week 2? Because they're watching the same film that we just played, no different that we're watching their film and last year's film. And so our guys are gonna be ready for the task. We understand it's going to be a tall task. We have to earn the right to be successful on Saturday with how we prep today, tomorrow, how we practice this week, so that when we go out on Saturday, when the nation's watching, I believe, like I talked about, are we willing to work in the dark so when the lights are on Saturday, we're ready?
I'm so excited. Like, I always heard about how loud Oregon is. I embrace it. I'm ready to feel the college atmosphere for the first time and just be like, okay, embrace the challenge. I know that we're going against a good team, but I like my team better.
It's just a lot of respect to those guys. They're obviously an explosive offense. They've got, a lot of good players that can make plays. And we're confident as well that we have a lot of players that can also make plays. So it's going to be exciting.
I'm excited. I mean, I know how big of a stadium it is. I know how many people are going to be there, but I mean, we kind of we've always talked about it's about us. So we're just going in, doing we got to do what we have to do. And I mean, playing at that big of a school is definitely an experience, especially because I mean, we don't play at that big of a stadium. I mean, probably for the rest of the season. So it's just exciting.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to put it is I don't think everyone realizes they're a very solid defense. I mean, it's a great team, and they're really good at what they do. They're super sound, and they've got a lot of playmakers on their defense. And so going about this week, I know a big deal is like getting our scouts to give us the best look that they possibly can, because it's a big week for the whole team. And so I think Oregon-wise, they're super solid. They play fast. They got playmakers, and they're big. So we just got to go approach ourselves in a high manner and trust each other that we're going to go into this week with a good feeling.
Guys have had a good week of practice, and that was, like we talked about earlier in the week, is we got to focus on us getting better from week 1 to week 2. And it's about our process, all 3 phases, and then even more than all 3 phases, our individual players learning from game 1, the things they did well, let's build on that. The things they didn't do well, why? How can you fix? Because football is a game that is black and white. Everything has answers as long as you put the work in to go get those things done. Everybody wants to win the big game. Oregon's been a game that's been talked about here for months. Is our team willing to do the little things every single day to earn the right to go get a shot and to go win this game? And when you come to Boise State, expectations through the roof. This place has been built on decades of guys that are blue collar, outwork people. So when you go into these games, you have a chance to go win. And I'm proud of our team. They've had a really good week so far. We still got to finish it tomorrow with our last practice before we fly out. But I love this team, man. They don't run from hard work. They embrace it. They love each other. There's a high standard here that's player-led, that if something's not going right in the field, it's usually a player that's going to grab somebody first and say, hey, like, that's not us. Come on. And that's showing, and that's a testament to our kids. So we just got to keep pushing forward. We focus on us this week. It's about us growing from week 1 to week 2. We know how talented Oregon, we know how well coached they are, and they are going to play their best on Saturday, and we're working our tail to make sure we do too.
It's going to be fun for sure. I always want to play against the best, so I'm really excited for that one.
I mean, it's great. Like you said, this is what we come here for, and it's exciting. And everybody's going to do everything they can to be on top at the end of it. And like you said before, it's just, it's exciting. These are the games that, in the back of our head is things that we look forward to. And it's finally here, and it's just a blessing that we get to participate in something like this.
I know they're going to be ready for us. I've heard that from multiple people. I mean, they're an elite team that got great coaches, that got great players. Their game plan is going to be to attack Boise State in all 3 phases, and our game plan is going to be attack Oregon in all 3 phases.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the crazier places to play. It's loud. Their fans love Oregon football, and they're a good team. So from expectation-wise, I think We know it's going to be loud, and we just got to handle our operation at a high level, communicate almost overly to where there's no mishaps like that stuff. And I think momentum comes from being at home, but also you can shut that down in ways. And that place is going to be bumping. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to go play there, and I think everyone in here is excited to go play there.
I mean, nobody's really worried about, anything on the outside. We know the special group that we have, in the locker room, and at the end of the day, that's all we need. The outside noise is going to be the outside noise, but we play at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main focus right now is us. We're not, you mentioned the past, and the past is the past, and so our focus right now is us. Like, how can we go about getting better from week 1 to week 2? Because at the end of the day, when we have 12 opportunities that are promised to us, how can we gain more? And this is a big step into it. So trusting ourselves and going about this week in a very serious manner to where it's seriously about us. If we go play our best ball, if we go play our best ball, I think there's a lot of confidence to be built going into the next few weeks, especially going into conference.
Really, they have a lot of depth. Number 15, the Tej Johnson guy, is going to be the most shiftiest guy that we've seen. And then not only their wide receivers, but their tight ends too are big-time threats in the passing game. And not in the run game, they do a great job blocking, like they saw last week. But then also they're able to go deep and take the top off. So we got to do a great job of keeping everything in front of them, make them run.
They're fired up. Once again, guys, these guys have been talked to about this game for 8 months, 9 months. So they're very aware of what this thing is. And obviously, majority of our kids are West Coast type kids. They've grown up watching Oregon. This is an awesome opportunity for our players to play in a huge game against a Big Ten opponent. It's going to be top 10. This is why you come to Boise State, to give yourself an opportunity to play in these games. For me, it's going to be the big part for me is when we're in practice, let's make sure that stress is high. That's why we have the crowd noise high at practice. I want to be very urgent in everything we do at practice so that you get used to living in that stressful world. That's just how you live. That's how you operate. So then when you get into a game where the stakes are through the roof, it's nothing new to you. You're ready to operate, because you could also let this emotion and this high intensity turn into anxiety and stress, which then turns you into not play your best football. I want our guys to cut it loose. I want our guys to go play fast. Attack success, do not fear failure. Attack success, do not fear failure, but that is trained.
And we're bringing you back live here from Autzen Stadium. You see the Broncos making their way onto the field. Some early warm-ups. Defensive lineman over here by the end zone. They got some pass rush drills going on. We got Jaden Finch manning the camera. About 90 minutes on the clock. Looks like maybe still a couple minutes over on 90 minutes, but you got players on both teams coming out to the field. You got Boise State in the blue pants. I love the look today for Boise State, by the way. Here comes Dirk Cutter. Let's see if Jaden can get a nice little shot of Dirk Cutter walking out. There's Dirk Cutter, Boise State offensive coordinator, making his way onto the field. Boise State going with the blue pants, the white jerseys, and the blue helmets, which is one of my favorite combinations for the road. So we're going to have Brad Bedell joining us in a couple minutes. Let us know where you're watching from. I see we got somebody in Canada. Let us know where you're watching from. Get us your location. Let us know your beverage of choice right now. We'll give some shout outs. What are you drinking? What do you got on the grill? What do you guys let us know about your tailgating situation here? And again, you still have time. Head on down to the House of Western, the National Bar at House of Western. They're going to have a watch party with Bronco Nation News and with the Horseshoe Collective. Tyler Shoemaker is the special guest there. He is going to jump on in at about 7:15 Mountain Time. So if you're there by 7:15, you can get in the background and make some noise on our live shot with Tyler Shoemaker. We got Brad Bedell coming up in a little bit as well. We got Coeur d'Alene checking in. Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. All right, how you doing? Chattanooga, Tennessee. Robbie Robinson downtown at the National. That is what I like to hear. And again, you can win if you show them that you're a YouTube subscriber, they're going to sign you up for a $50 gift card for a raffle at halftime to help pay for part of your tab. Patrick Dodd might win the award for furthest today. Auckland, New Zealand, checking in. Patrick Dodd in Auckland, New Zealand. Appreciate you for checking in, Patrick. What time of day is it over there? Andrew Hill is smoking some pizza tonight. Look, that sounds good. Heineken, Pedro, how we doing? What's up? Wendell, Idaho. Pedro checking in. Kevin is in Oregon. Let's see what else we got here. Fruitland, Idaho. Cranberry soda. I like it, Joel. Okay, Luke Glass coming in from Melbourne, Australia with the JFO46 hashtag. That's pretty sweet. Teriyaki chicken on the Weber grill for Andrew Harris. That sounds pretty good as well. Sports guy is checking in from Minnesota. Walla Walla, Washington. Blake is chiming in. Again, this is the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show here on Bronco Nation News. A keg of Coors Light. All right, I like that. Jaden Finch with a nice scoop of a fumble over here. What else we got going on? Homemade, all from scratch pizza. I like that. 12:30 on Sunday afternoon for Auckland, New Zealand there for the time. I like that. Atlanta, Georgia, checking in. Weiser, Idaho. We got Emmett as well. Jaden, you may need to get in front of the camera to make sure we don't get hit here. We'll have to see. We're going to have Brad Bedell joining us in just a couple of minutes. We're showing you the warm-ups here. We want your player of the game. We want your score predictions. Again, Autzen Stadium doesn't have the best Wi-Fi, so it looks like we're serviceable with a couple small hiccups here and there, but appreciate you for sticking with us with the lack of a crystal clear signal. Maybe seeing me kind of fuzzy and not crystal clear is better anyway. But we got Jaden Finch. We got myself, BJ Rains. We are down here on the field. How about some of those upsets today? How about Notre Dame going down to Northern Illinois? If you're Boise State at the hotel watching that, you see, okay, they were 28-point underdogs. We're only 19. If you're Boise State, you're thinking, okay, why not us? Why not us? 36-24 is what Kevin Acker has here for his score prediction. 45-37 for Reed Wassam. The sun is out. Oh, yeah, Idaho beat Wyoming. That was another upset as well. The sun is back out. Still not quite making its way. Jaden, we misjudged which way the sun was going to fade here. So when I come back on camera, I think I'm going to be in the dark, but that's all right. Genty making a statement, 41-38. And another score, the exact same score, 41-38. Two folks predicting the exact same score here. So Jonah Dalmas out here working on some field goals. Brad Bedell's having trouble getting the internet link. Let's take a quick timeout. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Brad Bedell live previewing this game. Don't go anywhere. Brad Bedell, we still have Mike Sanford. A ton to get to. Don't go anywhere. We're back live as warm-ups continue here at Autzen Stadium. Getting you set for Boise State and Oregon. We're back right after this.
Subscribe to Bronco Nation News on YouTube. Join the fastest online growing community of Boise State sports fans. YouTube.com/Bronco Nation News is the website. If you're watching on Facebook or X, we ask you to swap over YouTube.com/Bronco Nation News. If you're already watching on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button. And while you're there, hit the like button as well. Help us show up higher in the algorithms. All the press conferences, highlights, interviews, live shows, all of our content is available on YouTube. Again, subscribe today so you don't miss any broadcast. Hit the notifications button and turn that on so you're notified when we go live. And again, subscribe to Bronco Nation News on YouTube. Join the Horseshoe Collective and Bronco Nation News at every away game football watch party at the National. It's inside House of Western proper, part of the Western Collective group at 610 West Idaho Street. You walk in, you turn to the right, and it's the bar right there. They'll have full audio of the games. Great deals, including $3 Horseshoe Gold Nails, and 10% of all proceeds goes to benefit the Horseshoe Collective. Again, Western Collective has locations in Garden City or downtown Boise. Try some of their delicious beers, including that Horseshoe Gold Nail, the first beer in the country to support an NIL collective. Check them out, Western Collective, our studio sponsor here at Bronco Nation News. I tell you every day, but there would be no Bronco Nation News without Andy Rowe and our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Concrete coatings, interior, exterior, residential painting, commercial, industrial, all your painting needs. Consider the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. And again, our title sponsor. Support the sponsors, folks. Your next painting project, make sure it's with rowpaint.com. Check them out online, roepaint.com, or give them a call, 208-991-0567. Power and people, pride in painting. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Be on the lookout for the next edition of the Tyson Degenhart Show, sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, of course, is that mobile eBranch online banking in the app on your smartphone. Check them out for all your banking needs, whether it's a home loan, a car loan, just want to get a standard checking account set up. They can do it all at Idaho Central Credit Union. Check them out online, ICCU.com. Whether it's the Magic Valley, the Treasure Valley, all over Idaho, all over the surrounding states. Next time you need to head to the grocery store, think Ridley's Family Markets. Find a location near you online at shopridleys.com. Again, love the Star location, love the Cuna location. Whenever we head up to McCall, that's the spot we stop as well. Download that Skep app, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. And keep in mind, Ridley's Family Markets sponsor here at Bronco Nation News. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game has been around since 1978. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They're part of the Boise State home team, and they can help you out at thespateam.com. The Raines family purchased our spa. We are loving it. The delivery, the installation, the setup. It was so easy. I highly recommend it. They help you every step of the way, and we're loving, as the weather starts to cool down here, our new spa from Snake River Pool and Spa. But again, the patio and game portion, they've got that as well. Pool table, billiards table, anything you need for the game room, for the patio, they can help you out. Again, full inventory can be available online. They're ready to help you now. Check them out. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. The Raines family found out firsthand just how amazing Matt Bauscher and his staff is. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. The Raines family purchased and sold our home using Matt and his team, Kelly, Cade, Sarah, the whole team, just tremendous customer service. So thankful we went with the sponsors, 243-8222. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. And again, no home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them take care of you, BauscherRealEstate.com. Check out the Riley and Ridge Show every Tuesday night on Bronco Nation News. Former Boise State tight end Riley Smith, longtime Boise State assistant coach Kent Riddle, together, weekly football talk from a unique perspective. Streams every Tuesday, 8 o'clock on YouTube.
Back here live, and I am dodging punts left and right here in the end zone, trying not to get hit. So you guys might get the shot of the year, and all the haters out there might enjoy this if I get nailed on a punt here in the back of the end zone. So I'm doing my best, but we got our man Brad Bedell joining us live. We're going to bring him on in. Our pregame analyst for today, Brad Bedell. There he is. Brad, I hope you can hear me okay. Just remember that I'm not wearing any headphones, so I'm going to put some on. But how you doing, sir? I'm not hearing you, Brad, so hold on a second. I must have done something wrong. I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm not sure why I can't hear you, though. So I can hear you, though, Brad. Maybe. I don't know if you've got sound. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Brad. There we go.
Well, there you go. Sorry.
There you go. It was you, not me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Like I said, $500 NIL if they hit you with a ball.
Oh, man. We're having fun here, though. That was very close. Now I think they're trying, to be honest, Brad. I think they're trying to hit me here. What up, Brad? Give us your thoughts, Brad. Just we're about 90 minutes from kickoff. Boise State, number 7, Oregon. You can take anywhere you want. Just when I say Boise State and Oregon in 90 minutes, what are your thoughts?
Well, number one, I'm going to tell you this. Today's games, holy shit, right? You got Northern Illinois coming in to beat Notre Dame. So underdog doesn't mean anything right now. And that's Boise State walking into Oregon. Now, environment is going to be a big thing. So they need to overcome the environment, number one. Number two, get through early adversity. Okay, that's offense and defense. Okay, and so when you do that, you got a shot. Okay, let's break this down even more. Go to defense. My top 3 things. Number one, eliminate explosive plays. Eliminate's going to be hard on this offense. Now, they got dudes at wide receiver. They got a big old line, things like that. Well, let's cut that down. I would love to see this game when you look at the stats and, hey, they only had 8 explosive plays. That's a win for Boise State. Okay, number 2, create turnovers. Number 3, pressure and confuse the quarterback. Okay, I think that's going to be huge. That's going to be, if you pressure and confuse the quarterback, that's going to turn to some turnovers later in the game. If you go to offense, you got to run the football. And running the football right now, in my opinion, with Ginty is, I told you this on Wednesday, if he goes for 2, I like him to win the game. if he's sitting there at 150, they've really ran the ball well, and that's going to open up the play action game. So now we're going to create explosive plays. If you look back, and Boise State's got 8 to 10 explosive plays, chunk plays, we're in business. And then I think number 3, you can't have turnovers. You can't have interceptions. You can't have fumbles. You can't give this Oregon offense a short field. And then on special teams, really, if you got to settle for a field goal, it's okay, but you got to make the field goal. And then special teams, your return units have got to have the ball at the end of the play, right? So fair catches are okay, but you can't give up a turnover on special teams, and you can't give up a big return on special teams. If you give up a big return on special teams and give Oregon a short field, it's not going to go well. And then at the end of the day, what defense is going to bow up in the red zone, right? Let's settle for field goals. If Boise can have Oregon settle for field goals, which they did versus Idaho, you're in good shape. It's overcome the early environment. I've been to that stadium. I took a great recruiting trip to that stadium when they were playing Washington. It's the loudest place I've been in college football. So we'll see how it goes. But those are the top 3 things on offense, defense, and special teams that I think are a big thing for Boise State.
Well, obviously, great keys, Brad. You mentioned at the beginning that Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame, and that's kind of a coach. I know one of those media misnomers or media things. And by the way, somebody said you were a little lower again on the audio. So, folks, I turned myself down a little, but just turn your volume up whenever Brad's on. Just turn your volume up a little bit. Apologize for that. But, Brad, you mentioned Notre Dame, and that's one of those media things like, oh, Boise State's sitting around the hotel. They see a 28-point underdog win the game. So they're like, why not us? We're only 19-point underdogs. Or if you're or the other side would say, oh, you're Oregon, you saw what could happen, and you got to lock in more so it doesn't happen to you. Like, is there any truth to any of that? Does any score of any game earlier in the day? I mean, are these players and coaches paying attention to any of that?
I did. Why not us? Why not us? Okay, Northern Illinois walked in a Notre Dame environment. Okay, tough environment to play in. Whatever, it's Notre Dame. But why not us? Why can't we go in and beat a top 10 team at their place? Not only that, a top 10 team or a program that you're 3-0 against. I don't know if Northern Illinois has ever even beaten Notre Dame, but you got a Boise State program that's come in and beat Oregon at 3-0, right? So it's like, hey, once you take the field, you put the ball down, and let's just go kick the shit out of them. And I think
sorry, Brad.
No, you're good. But I also think let's even take that a little step further, right? You got a Cal team that walked into Auburn and beat the brakes off of them. But the key to that game, and I know everybody's kind of been watching ball all day, but that Cal defense created 4 turnovers for Auburn, right? And the fourth one set them up to win the game, right? And I think it was domination by Cal. And I think right then and there, if you go in and you create early turnovers and you get the crowd just quiet, shut them up, okay? And go, hey, yeah, we don't care about you, but you shut that crowd up. Now you're cooking, in my opinion.
I'm going to reset my Wi-Fi, Brad, so I need you to stall for 30 seconds. I know you're good at talking here for a second while I reset my Wi-Fi. But if Brad, I'm going to ask you this question, then I'll be right back. So just keep talking until you see me come back, and maybe that'll be 2 hours from now. We'll see how long I make you have to keep talking.
Hey, now it's my show.
For Boise State, though, and what they did last kind of the game going to be if you're Oregon and like, okay, we just saw what happened. Like, we know Ashton Genty can run for 260, whatever. They can run for 370 as a team. Like, what is the game plan? What's the chess match like for Oregon's defense versus Boise State's offense in this game? And is Boise State, do they try to throw the ball more to catch them off guard? Do they just say, no, we're going to run the ball. Good luck stopping us. What's the chess match like running the football for Boise State and offensively against Oregon in this game?
Well, I think number one is it becomes the Brad Bedell show. You guys are welcome. But number one, Oregon is get on them early. Get on them early. Create create momentum, right? This is a momentum game. I think this is a rivalry game, but create momentum, right? So does that mean, so let's go Oregon defense first. Shut the run game down. Make them one-dimensional. If you can make them one-dimensional, and then all of a sudden now let's have Maddox beat us. If Maddox could take it and beat us and just throw the ball down the field and create chunk plays and beat us in the passing game, you guys beat us. Good for you, Boise State. If I'm them, I'm jumping on you early. I would expect early pressure out of Oregon to create some discomfort, especially on rundowns. Move the defensive line. Create some edge pressure. Take away the zone game. Okay, and then if you're Oregon's offense, I am chucking and ducking early. I am going to create some explosive plays to get everything going. Now, my goal, if I was Oregon, I want to be 14 points ahead in the first quarter. Okay, if we can get to 14 points ahead in the first quarter, and then when you get into the second quarter, we want to win what we call is the 8, right? You're going to win the last 4 minutes of the second, and you're going to win, okay, the first 4 minutes in the third. Okay, so, and that can be a little bit different, right, guys? I mean, if you really think about that, is if you go into the second half and you got the ball, winning those 4 is scoring within the first 4 minutes. Push the tempo on them. Okay, Georgia Southern had some tempo, but if I'm the Oregon offense, I'm pushing the tempo on this defense. I'm going to get them misaligned. I'm going to do those types of things so I can create some explosive plays. And then obviously, I think special teams, everybody's just got to play a clean special teams game. If you can play a clean special teams game, let the offense and the defense's perspective of your programs win the football game. And I think if you shut down Ginty and make them one-dimensional, that's what Oregon wants to do. That's what everybody's going to want to do. I don't think they can. I don't. I think Ginty is going to go. I think a good game for Ginty is 125 to 150. Spectacular is 150 and above. I think right then and there, if he's hitting 175, wow, here we go. O-line played great. They're going to have some movement. They're going to have to really get on double teams. They're bigger inside than the last week, right? So you're going to see some guys, Boise State fans right now, you're going to see some tackles for loss. It's okay. Okay, that doesn't mean the O-line's shitty. It's a good defensive line for Oregon with a good defensive coordinator. And remember,
I did want to,
Dan Lanning's smart. I mean, he was a defense coordinator at Georgia. He's a smart guy. So he has been involved in this game plan from probably on Monday.
Hey, Brad, there was some news recently. I just put on Twitter. I broke that Mason Randolph, the starting center, is out tonight with an injury. To be without your starting center on the road against the number 7 team in the country. I know you're talking about the O-line and the chances for some negative plays, and that's going to happen. But what kind of challenge is that? Now, they have known this pretty much all week. This was not a last-second thing here. But the starting center out, Mason Randolph. Your thoughts when you hear that?
Who's getting the start? That's what I want to know.
They got 2 guys that are both going to be getting some time on there. One is Steele, and then the other one is the San Diego or Oregon State transfer, Zach Holmes.
Zach Holmes. Okay. Good football players. Number 1. Number 2 is 2 centers going in there. How are both centers going to be able to handle the silent snap count? And how are they doing the silent snap count? Right? Is that going to be a leg up for the quarterback at a gun, or is the guard going to take a look back and tap the hip? Those are 2 things that they've practiced, guys. I mean, they're not dumb. They've practiced this all week. But both centers, they're different, right? So it's different timing. So you got to understand that. Tough environment, but I'm sick to my stomach about Mason not getting the start. I didn't even know that until you broke it. God, I feel for that kid. But those 2 got to step up. Next man plays. It's the way it is. The next man plays. He's got to play winning football. And I know that's a coach cliche and all that shit, but he's got to step up and play physical, dominant football and be right on snaps. Let's not have a snap issue tonight.
Give me an X factor if it's not Ashton Jeanty. Everybody thinks Ashton Jeanty. I mean, if Boise State's going to come in here and shock the world, what else has to happen other than Ashton Jeanty? And who's a guy or two that could be key tonight for you?
Okay, I'm going in. That's a great question. I'm going to go in and say that if they pressure early, like I just said, that the wide receivers got to get open versus man coverage. I mean, they've worked their tails off to get bigger and stronger in that room. So they have got to get open versus man coverage if they're playing man. If they're not, they have to get off press. They have to find the holes, and they got to get in and out of their routes in a hurry. So Maddox isn't under duress all night, right? And the O-line, they got to pick up pressures and they got to play well. If they're going to take away that run game, my key factor is wide receivers getting open, and 2 O-line, they got to protect just long enough to get the ball out.
Couple folks saying Chris Marshall can be the X factor tonight. Somebody else in the chat is saying Prince Strawn. No catches for Prince Strawn against Georgia Southern. Do you think that changes tonight?
No, I don't know. I think everybody's like, there's one thing about what, and I saw that all week, and there's things about, guys, you have to understand, wide receivers, you can't just, hey, we're guaranteed to give him the ball because of safety rotation. I think Dirk Cutter hit it best. Prince needs to get involved, and he will over time. But if they deem him their top guy, if they roll coverage that way, it opens up opportunities the other side. And that all depends on coverage. You can't guarantee wide receivers balls. You just can't, unless it's bubble screens, jet sweeps, and things like that. You can guarantee some touches, right? But you can't guarantee touches in the passing game because coverage dictates it. All right, there's the zone beaters in your offensive scheme, and they're man beaters. And as he reads the defense and says, hey, I got man, I'm going here. I got zone, I'm going here. So if you don't have that, and if Prince isn't on that side of the ball, you're not going to get him a touch. It's life. It's just it's a unit. That wide receiver unit's going to have to step up, and you have to limit drops. You can't have a bunch of drops.
Somebody's asking about Breezy Dubar, if he's a go tonight. Looks like he is. He's cleated up here during warm-ups. I mean, how much fun would that be, Brad, for an offensive coaching staff when you now have Gaines and you have Jeanty and now you have Dubar to try to scheme up maybe some 2-back, who knows, maybe even a little wildcat 3-back set with all those guys?
I would agree. It's also a 3-headed monster, right? Those are 3 young men that can really carry a football. So, it's not if Jeanty's getting his touches, which he will, it makes you – it's very securing that you got 3 tailbacks. You can put 2 in the game. You can do some motion stuff. You can do some motion out and get to a 1-back system to ID zone or man coverage. You could do all kinds of things within the passing game to ID coverages to get guys the ball, right? So, for instance, if keep Jeanty in the backfield, take Dubar and motion him out. If the linebacker walks out, you're creating a light box. Now you're creating a light box to give Jeanty the ball, and now we're cooking. Here we go. Let's go, right? So if they motion him out and they rotate the safeties and keep the box the same, okay, now you got some stuff in the passing game because they're going to be hurt in that regard. So you got little tattletales about zone-to-man coverage, which I think is huge, especially for protection purposes. It limits blitzes. Now, if you rotate and do those types of things, you can bring 6-man pressures. You can bring 0. You can bring a lot of things. So it's a little tattletale if you can get 2 backs in the backfield, especially 2 backs in the backfield that can catch the football. So now motion 1 out, ID some coverages, and now you got opportunity to create light boxes, number 1. And number 2, okay, are we zone or man? And what are our man, where are our zone beaters?
So what are your final thoughts, Brad? Your final thoughts on this one? Boise State.
I got the question. I think
I was muted. Sorry about that, Brad. I was muted.
No.
I was saying that some fans here are filing in. You can see it's a nice my Uber driver on the way over here said it was the most visiting fans he's seen in his time living in Eugene. we'll see if that. I can't imagine he's counting like Oregon State games or something, but there is going to be a lot of blue in the crowd tonight. Your final thoughts? I mean, I don't know if shock the world's too strong because they're only a 19-point underdog, but if just what's your feeling on this game? What it would mean for Boise State if they could get a win? What kind of chance do you give them to win tonight? The final pregame thoughts from Brad Bedell.
Oh, I think I give them every chance in the world to win the game, but I think some things got to go their way. I think you got to play good momentum football and create your own momentum and turnovers. I think they need that. I think you got to come in and play tough Boise State football. I mean, if this is not a game to line up a ball and say, you know what, we are literally going to try to beat the shit out of you. You have to do that in this game, and it has to be early. I give them every opportunity to win the game. I really do. I think in today's – just look at this season. This is awesome. This is what we want. This is unbelievable. But you got to come in. Shock the world? No. You're 3-0. You're 3-0. You're a Boise State program that's 3-0 versus Oregon. I was blessed to be a part of one of those in the bowl game. But you're not coming in starstruck. We're coming in to put the ball down to beat your ass. And you have to have that mentality. And if you don't, you're in for a long game. They're going to get beat by 30. I don't. If you come in with a tough mentality that we're going to beat you, we don't give a shit who you are, let's go. I think Boise State can pull it off late. But if they don't create the turnovers and you don't run the football, it's a long night for Boise.
And really, I mean, you're kind of playing with nothing to lose tonight, right, Brad? I mean, I feel like just don't lose by 60. I mean, be competitive, hang in there, and this isn't going to be a game that costs you a spot in the playoffs if you lose. But you obviously don't want to, this. I've seen some of the projections where it's, hey, number 5 Oregon versus number 12 Boise State in the first game of the playoff. Like, this is the type of team you'll play maybe in that first game if you get in. So when they're looking at picking the teams, it's more of the big boys, your guys coming out here for their pregame stretching and warm-ups. I mean, when they're going to pick the teams, they're going to be like, I would at least looking a little bit saying, okay, we saw that didn't go too well. They lost 60-7. Like, let's pick somebody else. Like, that's the only way this game hurts you, in my opinion, is just if you get blown out.
I would agree with you. Especially, now I ain't going to lie to you. Some things helped. I think a Tulane team playing Kansas State tough at home, right? If Tulane beat that squad, I think Boise's an uphill battle on a loss to Oregon. It's too early in the year, right? Do you want to lose early or lose late? Okay, my guess, don't lose at all. Go undefeated. That's the number one goal, is you go undefeated. If you want to go to the playoff as a G5, you go undefeated. This game doesn't hurt. It hurts if you get your ass blown out. But even that, I think what we need to do is you need to get the rest of these Mountain West teams, get their ass going. Don't have Wyoming lose to Idaho. I'm sorry. Just stop. Stop losing to Idaho, of all people, right? You can't do that, okay? Because we need a strong Mountain West conference, so when Boise State runs the table, they don't have a choice. Boise State goes in because they have a one-loss team to Oregon. Or don't lose to Oregon and go undefeated. That's this team. This game doesn't mean you're going to the playoff or not going to the playoff. You got, 10 more games going here. What we need is the Mountain West to get their shit together and start winning some football games. That's what you need to make their resume stronger once playoff time comes. Now, you play Oregon in the playoff, right? You could also be playing an SEC team. Let's cross that when we get to it. But if you play tonight and you win tonight, you still got to run the table, win the championship, and move on. If you lose tonight, you still win the championship. It's your resume. You have to believe in what you do. This is the conference you play in. And so you beat the shit out of everybody else, and then the playoff, they're going to go, hey, Boise State beat their entire conference by 30. Okay, you got to put them in. Now with some teams they're going to have a one-loss team, I've always said, is going to get in. A two-loss team is out, in my opinion. I think Liberty doesn't play shit. They have a horrible, easy schedule. So if they go undefeated, we saw that last year, getting drummed in that New Year's Day game. So I think you have to have a strong conference. So the Mountain West needs to get their shit together.
Brad, appreciate you as always, man.
Great. That's the honesty.
We love it, man. We love it. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you jumping on the pregame show, and enjoy watching the game there back in Boise. And we'll talk to you next Wednesday, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good time there, and let's go get them. You got to go get them.
Appreciate it, Brad. There he is, Brad Bedell. Great stuff from Brad. We'll talk to him on Wednesday. Great insight there from Brad Bedell. We are live here on the field. You see some of the players are down there warming up, getting their stretching and things in. James Montgomery, the running backs coach. Man, who has it better than James Montgomery right now? I had a chance to catch up with James Montgomery this week. We'll hear from James Montgomery, the running backs coach at Boise State, here in 25 seconds.
Bronco Nation News is presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.
I just look at the efficiency of how he's moving, how he's seeing his reads, and how we're hitting our spots. And I just thought he did a really good job of his tracks and his tempo. His eyes were in the right place all night, and the O-line did a hell of a job.
You obviously seen it in practice, but for the rest of it, and we saw it last year, but with all the offseason hype, the rest of the nation to see that kind of performance in week one, how cool is that?
Well, that's one thing he does every single day. He plays with relentless effort, and so that was, that's one of our core values here, one of our winning edges right there. But he showed it each and every day. And like I was saying, we were gonna, get him a couple live pops throughout fall camp, but then we seen how he came out. He was running just like a man every day, and the effort was there. We were like, we don't need to do that. And so I know he was ready to go week one, and once we got out there, his first carry went from -2 to the next one goes for 77. So it's that's just who he is. But we told him not to press, let the game come to him, and that's exactly what he did.
So he didn't get tackled once during fall camp?
Not once.
So could you see he was eager to kind of be unleashed, I guess?
Oh, without a doubt. All my guys, as we were coming out in pregame, they just kind of had that look in their eyes. Their eyes weren't bright, the moment wasn't big, and they were just ready to go play some good football.
He's now set the bar so high. I feel like he's going to rush for 150, and people are going to be like, "Oh, I wasn't." Just how does he try to sustain this momentum? I guess now the expectations for him, this fan base, national, whatever, are going to be through the roof every game.
We had expectations going into that game, but we have our own expectations in the room, and so all we can do is go out and play our brand of football every single snap, and that's being efficient with our movement, being efficient with our eyes, and making good decisions in the run game and protecting the ball.
Is it cool for you to see the national attention he's starting to get? And also, it seems like you guys are kind of leaning into that. He's doing some national, radio, podcast stuff, and with the Heisman campaign and all that. You guys are kind of backing him here.
He's earned the right for it. BJ, you're here every day. You get to see how he works and what he does, but how he prepares each and every day is just elite. How he comes into my meeting every day is elite. How he works in the weight room, how he puts his hands on the younger guys in the room and teaches them the way, it's elite. And so he's earned it, and so that comes with going for 260 and 6 touchdowns.
And with Sire Gaines, I know you guys saw this in practice too, and we're kind of saying like, hey, this guy's different, be ready. But to see him do it in a real live game, how cool is that?
I tell him every single day, practice how you play. And so for him to go out there, get his eyes right, make his reads, it was just what we do every single day. He drilled a skill. He takes the individual drills and we apply them to the team periods, and you don't have to change anything that you're doing. Just play exactly the same. We don't put Superman capes on when game day comes. You just technique, fundamentals, and roll.
In the past around here, if a guy fumbles, they get pulled out for a series or two. What was it about him that you guys stuck with him there?
He was hot still. It was flow of the game. He was feeling it, and the run where he fumbled, he comes out. We hit a mid zone, and he makes the safety miss, and it's always the guy you can't see. And so I told him about that in practice day after day after day, and then it didn't happen. And then we get to the game, it happened, and we have a lot of trust in him. His mindset, I knew that he would be able to respond on the next play. And then the next play, he goes in for a nice little touchdown right there. So that was a great way to respond. But now he knows the game's a little bit faster in high school. And so, he's running down the sideline locked on one guy. There's other people on the field. So
for him to get a 4th and 1 carry in his first game and just to have the role he did right away and then succeed in it, what's that do for him, too, to say, like, all right, I can do that. I can play at this level. And for you guys, too, to see it in the game, know that he needs to be and will be one of your key players, obviously.
Well, the thing for a freshman, that was his first game. And so every rep that he takes in game and in practice, he's banking those reps and he's learning from every single rep. But he's just doing a heck of a job of just knowing where he has to be
And if you saw Sire in meetings, like you see his eyes just so locked in on the screen. He's taking notes, writing down everything that I'm saying. So, and then he comes in after and he gets extra film time with me every single night. And so I know where his heart is and where his mind is. And so he just does a heck of a job of preparing. He always exhausts his preps. He's always asking me questions. He's asking Ashton questions. And so with everything he just does it at such a high level.
And with Breezy, he was banged up and wasn't able to get out there, and a lot of people kind of just say, "Oh man, Snyder's doing this," and then we found out, or fans found out, that he was obviously Breezy wasn't out there for a reason. But once you get him, all three of those guys, what's the potential of this backfield?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to create in the room always. I want the best guys I can get to create the competition. But the best part about my room is if you saw them off the field, they're rooting for each other and everything that they do. It's an elite brotherhood with what we have in the room, but I just want to build it to where the competition is key, because even though, you might not be getting on the field, because we only have one on the field, usually maybe two, that I want to make sure that whoever goes out on the field, there's no drop in the play. We have enough to be able to do that. We're all in the same meeting room. They all have the same information. I coach them a little bit differently individually, but the information that's being taught in the room is all the same. And so I just want to create a elite competition to where whoever goes on the field, because it's a long season, survival position, I don't want any drop off and output.
And I'm not saying people forgot about Breeze, but with what Sire did in the first game, it's okay, it's going to be Sire and Ashton. But if you look at what Breezy did last year, I mean, he's obviously was competing right there with Sire for carries. I mean, what can Breezy, when he's healthy, still bring to this group, even with those two guys?
Well, they all have different running styles, and that's the beauty of playing running back. Like, we can go through individual drills, and everybody's going to move and do the drill biomechanically a little bit different. Breezy brings something that a lot of people don't have. He has a lot of pure speed. And the main thing with him is just get his body back right, keep rehabbing. It's a long season. We play running back, it's violent, we take a lot of shots, and we got to pick up linebackers, you got to do that type of thing. So when he's ready to go, he'll be ready to go.
I know last year there would be talk about you hope at times to get Jordan Nash and Eller together. I mean, you got to just be kind of having that grin and pen and paper, like thinking about whether it's two or all three of them or whatever else. And it's got to be fun to try to think about how creative you guys can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to think about those things, but that takes learning those packages and being able to do those things. And so if we get to that, we get to that. If not, we don't.
What do you see in Oregon's defense?
I see a really good defense. They're good on all three levels. They play hard. They're gapped down. They're schematically sound, and they're very well coached. And so it's going to be a hell of a challenge for us this week.
I guess one thing, what is the opportunity like for this program and just to have this stage and this opportunity against a top 10 team?
It's awesome. This is what college football is all about. Get to go into Autzen. It's loud. It's going to be hostile, and it's beautiful. This is why you play college football, to play in these games.
And as an offensive player and coach, I mean, there's no better feeling, I guess, than shutting out the home crowd?
There's no better feeling. Definitely no better feeling, because you're in a hostile environment, man. And if you can quiet those guys down a little bit, that always helps us with our operation.
There he is, James Montgomery, the Boise State running backs coach. Must be nice to be him with the backfield that he's got there here for Boise State. We got the kickers and punters on the field getting some warm-ups in. Rest of the quarterbacks and company should be taking the field here shortly. We're going to take a quick timeout, a quick commercial break. Tyler Shoemaker is live at the James Kitchen and Bar in down. It's the game. James Kitchen and Bar is where our post-game shows are going to be. Tyler Shoemaker is at our watch party at the National at House of Western with Joe Nickel and the Horseshoe Collective. We love Kerry Pruitt, House of Western. We got parties all over town. It's hard to keep them straight, but we are excited to bring him on right after this commercial break. We got a lot still to get to. We're going to hear from Mike Sanford. We're going to show you the warm-ups as well. The sun is setting behind me. Sorry for the bad angle right here and the spotty Wi-Fi, but a quick timeout. We're back with Tyler Shoemaker in a couple minutes.
The fall kickoff sale is underway at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. They've got NIL deals with 6 student athletes at Boise State, including 4 football players, Jonah Dalmas, Ahmed Hassanin, Matt Lauder, and Andrew Simpson. They're all rocking rides from Lithia Ford of Boise, and you can as well. The Raines family purchased our F-150 a couple years ago from Lithia. Couldn't be happier with the customer service. The fall kickoff sale is underway at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. boisepregame.com. They've got NIL deals with 6 student athletes at Boise State, including 4 football players, Jonah Dolmas, Ahmed Hassanin, Matt Lauder, and Andrew Simpson. They're all rocking rides from Lithia, Florida, Boise, and you can as well. The Rains family purchased our F-150 a couple years ago from Lithia. Couldn't be happier with the customer service. We still get the free lifetime oil changes. Always enjoy coming back and seeing Jim and his staff. So friendly. And our salesperson, Kim, did a tremendous job helping us out every step of the way. Still sends us a Christmas card. So check them out. That fall kickoff sale. You looking for the F-150, the Ford Bronco, the E-Mach Ford Mustang, all their vehicles. Again, view them online, lithiafordboise.com. Check them out on Fairview in Boise, Lithia Ford of Boise. Taco Bell is hiring. You can get more information at TacoBellWorks.com. The Treasure Valley Taco Bell stores offering free food while you work, half your wages the next day after you work, great promotional opportunities, and more. It's a great environment. And if you're looking for a job, highly recommend Taco Bell. You can apply at TacoBellWorks.com, and you can also get more information there about the giving efforts of Taco Bell, the SON Management Group, and the Nicolason family. The student endowed scholarships for the men's and women's basketball team. Yep. They come from SON Management Group and the Nicolason family. Get more information, apply for a job, go eat at Taco Bell. Check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. You looking for that new jersey or shirt for game day? Head on in to the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. You can order anywhere in the world, but if you're in the Boise area, I highly recommend just going to the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall next to Pro Image. The Blue and Orange Store, whether it's coaches' sideline apparel, jerseys, caps, bumper stickers, car flags, you name it, they've got it at the Blue and Orange Store. Again, all your Boise State gear. I know there's a lot of places in town you can choose to go shopping for Boise State gear, but if you want the most comprehensive selection and you want to help a great guy in Travis Hawks, who's been a big supporter from day one of Bronco Nation News, check them out, the Blue and Orange Store, online, theblueandorangestore.com. Maybe you never thought about getting into the trucking industry, but if you're looking for a career change, you should. Transportation Compliance Service. It's a local company based in the Treasure Valley, helping folks all over the world get into the trucking industry, whether it's the DOT overweight permits, all the paperwork, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time, they can help you out. Those that try to do it themselves, in fact, 75% that try to do it themselves end up going out of business. Let the professionals handle the paperwork so you can get out there on the open road. Check them out, transcomservice.com, 866-813-7620. Again, Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. On the go, don't have enough time to cook up a nice meal, but don't want to always be eating out fast food. You want a cheap option, you want a healthy option, well, I got it for you. LeanFeastMeridian.com. You make your order on a Sunday or Monday, they deliver the food to your house, and all week you've got your meals from Lean Feast. I'm talking chicken, steak, fish, shrimp, turkey, you name it, they got it all. It's 2 minutes in the microwave. You can have them in your fridge for up to 5 days. It's all healthy, all different kinds of diets, 10,000 plus combinations. The graphic on the bottom of the screen there is wrong. It is leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. Tell them you heard about it on Bronco Nation News. They'll hook you up with a sweet deal. And again, no excuse to not eat healthy now because they deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. It's Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Former Boise State quarterback and longtime coach Mike Sanford joins local sports talk radio host Johnny Mallory for football talk with a unique perspective. They'll talk Boise State, college football, and beyond. Check it out every Wednesday at 8 on Bronco Nation News.
He is there he is. Tyler, I'm hoping you can hear us okay. We got spotty Wi-Fi at Autzen Stadium. Are you there? Can you hear us? How you doing, man?
BJ, what's up, man? I'm here, live and in color.
I don't want to get in your shot. All right, I'm sure we have Tyler at the moment. If you guys can hear him or see him.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. But
all right, we're going to try to work on Tyler Shoemaker here. We'll see if we can switch the connection. I don't know if it's me or him. We're trying to get the signal back here. It's not great at the moment. Apologize for the Wi-Fi issues here, folks. We're doing the best we can at Autzen Stadium. Not sure what to do here, Dan. We've got no signal.
I can hear you, BJ. It's really popping here at our Western Collective. We got a big crowd, so it's probably a combination of too much signal on both sides.
I'll turn these up. I don't know if that does anything. Is it, yeah? Hog in the space. Tell him to keep talking.
BJ, looks like you guys are right there close to field. Brings back a lot of memories. You know, obviously 2008 when we were up in Autzen, and man, the pregame jitters were going high. We knew it was a big game coming into that, and had to make a statement. Man, what a fun environment. They packed the house there. You know, obviously hats off to the Oregon fans. I'm sure Bronco Nation traveled well. Representing, I think we had a full section when I was there up in the corner. I remember looking up and finding my parents and the family that all traveled, and you know, all the families that were close to the crew that made the trip. So hats off to Bronco Nation. Appreciate you guys making the trip, and we're gonna make it work tonight, huh? BNN team, if you can hear us, it sounds like BJ is going to reset his Wi-Fi on his side. So coming live from Western Collective down here downtown Boise. We've got a little watch party. We got folks streaming in as we get set up here. Obviously support the Broncos. See what we can do against the Ducks tonight. There we go. Lots of good college football games this lovely Saturday. A couple of close games. Saw there's some top 25 teams kind of on the ropes. Sounds like they all pulled it out, but obviously exciting in the college football world. Got Tennessee, NC State here up on the screen as we wait for the Broncos to get kicked off here. 17-3 Tennessee into the first half. Obviously a tough game for Tennessee going to NC State at home. NC State's looking solid here.
Hey, there we go. Can you hear me, Tyler? Tyler, can you hear me? Are you there, Tyler?
BJ, picturesque. We have the sun setting in the background. Over the edge.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? We're having quite the Wi-Fi issues here. We got the fans behind us.
Some Broncos in the background. I like that.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can flip the camera around. I don't know what's going on with the... how do we flip the camera to this one?
Coming up. Love the blue and white combo. Obviously a good road look. Ashton right there. Number 2. Obviously we saw what we can do game 1. We need everybody to step up this game. I think obviously so far offense is going to get back to the road big 2. Maddox will be throwing a little bit. Obviously the first team is going to
Can you hear me, Tyler, or no?
Hockey game is always timing and making sure that everybody's on the same page.
Tyler, can you hear me?
Barely. I got you a little bit, DJ.
Hey, I'm really sorry for the Wi-Fi issues here. Tell me your memories of playing Oregon, man.
Oh man, so redshirt freshman year for me, you know, obviously a big game on the road for us to start the season. A lot of nerves going into the game. Luckily for me, I had a kind of a backup role, and knew it was going to be limited opportunities offensively. Made some plays on special teams, got out there and did a little bit, but I was a big towel waiver that game. Really cool to be on the sideline, obviously supporting our boys, watching the offense do its thing, kind of the start of film, Eugene on his sophomore year, getting into that year. Man, what a crowd in Autzen! They packed the house. Great environment, kind of energy in that stadium. We were really excited. We had a quick game in there.
What you have the hatred for the Ducks? I mean, the 3-0 record against them, and everybody likes to talk about. Like, how big of a deal is that to a former player that this program's never lost at Oregon?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I heard just a part of that.
3-0 against Oregon all the time. Is that a big deal to the players?
Big opportunity. Week 2. Hopefully you had some time to iron out
the mic closer to your mouth.
Hold the good opportunity for the boys to make some corrections. We looked good last week, but some details need to be cleaned up.
Tyler, can you hear me any better now?
A little bit, BJ.
I mentioned 3-0 against Oregon. I don't know how big, is that a big deal to the players in this program that never lose to Oregon? And what are your thoughts on the game tonight, man? How you feeling?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think anytime you've had success against another squad, especially a power conference, power 5 conference team like in Oregon, you got to keep the streak. I think both teams, have week 1 that they want to address and come out with a better shot in week 2. I expect both teams to come out firing tonight and put on a good show. But the line is way too good for my liking for the first game, whatever, 19. So I know we're going to make a good showing. If they can keep it close, we obviously have a chance. Let's get it done.
What's the atmosphere like down there at House to Western at the National Bar? I know folks are coming on in to watch the game on Peacock. They got $3 horseshoe gold nails down there. You guys having some fun?
Oh man, it's getting loud down here. Obviously, I think that's why we're having some of these audio and technical issues. There's a lot of people screaming in. As soon as I walked in, it seemed like the whole crowd followed in. So we're going to pack this house. We're going to have a great showing here. Obviously, supporting from us here, like we're making sure about the Autzen. It's going to be a really good environment from here. We're just going to support us out of the front. Hopefully, you guys can hear us with the speakers.
Hey, man, I apologize for all the issues. We really appreciate you for joining us. Enjoy the game down there. Make sure my wife buys you a couple beers on the BNN tab, and we appreciate you, man. We'll be talking to you real soon.
Sounds great, BJ. Thanks so much. Karen's doing a great job. She's bringing those cats down here. We're trying to get it set up, but we'll be supporting how we can. So Broncos.
Well, there he is, and here come the Broncos. Apologize for the Wi-Fi issues here. We're going to go ahead and end the pregame show. We'll get some more content on social media, but just not good enough for us to do a show right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. Apologize, folks, and we'll be back with better signal on the postgame show here from Bronco Nation News.